Zoomer Radio, AM 740, downtown FM 96.7. And the summer wind, Buble there with the Happy Gang, 9 minutes after 8 o'clock. Jane Brown's here. My name's Neil. Good morning. And we welcome our friends Derek and Harsh, who are in from Pukka and from Ji, both on St. Clair West. Gents, thanks for being here.
We're excited. Thank you.
We like when we have people come in, Jane, on Fridays who are from the restaurant community, which, of course, has exploded in Toronto in the last couple of decades. And we like people giving people news they can use. Let's give them something they can do. Is there like a basic, if I'm just dipping my toes into being a little adventurous, maybe trying to make some Indian food at home, is there something basic we can give them to get them started?
You know what? We have one dish that's on the menu, which it's been on since day one, and it's French beans, green beans, and you can add this as a side dish to any meal, and it's basically blanched green beans. Yeah. You saute onions, garlic, ginger, some mustard seeds, some fresh turmeric or powdered turmeric, and if you can get your hands on some curry leaves that you can find in a sort of an Indian market. You toss it all together so it's not a soupy, gooey sauce. It's literally just pan toss, and then you cover that with some fresh grated coconut. It is Indian-inspired and easy to make.
Sounds wonderful. How much turmeric do you put in? Because I know that
that's just a pinch. You would not
just a pinch, okay.
Because it's very, very strong. So that's just a little bit put, as I said, onions and...
Is that the mistake people make when they try to make it? Is they overdo it on the spices? Is that why it maybe gets...
That is very common mistake everybody does, is overspicing. Do not overspice. Because spicing is the spices are very strong. Just do a pinch of it, pinch of that. And the best thing of the Indian food is you don't have to, just taste it with it. If you find it is good taste for you, it's great. If it's not, just add a little bit more salt or spicing or whatever you want. And it's very forgiving. It's very forgiving food. It's not like you have to be... But if you make a mistake, we add a little too much, it's very difficult to go the other way around.
Exactly. It's like too much salt.
Too much salt.
Has Indian cuisine changed in Canada as a result of the meshing of the cultures?
Oh, definitely it has. And I think so. I will let Derek answer this question because he's a perfect example of meshing of the cultures.
Well,
nothing said.
I would think definitely a mashup of the cultures. It's kind of given that the cow is holy in India. However, we are in Canada and we are meat and potato eaters. So we have one dish on our menu called braised beef short ribs, and it's done with cardamom and clove and a lot of other warming spices, but it's not overly spicy, but it is a great beef dish. So, that more appeals to, I would say, the more Canadian in us, so to speak.
Right.
Interesting. You talked about if you can go to a good Indian market, and without getting you to pick your favorite kid or anything like that, if I want to go to a good Indian market in the GTA somewhere, where do I go?
There is a store on Overley. There's a store on Overley side, like by Lee side, actually. Thorncliffe. There's one store there, and it's a really great place. Or you can go to Gerrard Street, Gerrard East. There's a lot of good places to pick up Indian spices or Indian-inspired groceries, as the curry leaves, or anything you need to do that, you can do that too. The Indian bazaar there.
But Little India is not just on Gerrard anymore.
That is true.
That was the initial.
That was the initial. Yeah. Another thing is, I don't want to give any plugins, but a lot of major supermarkets are carrying Indian food as well.
Yes, even in my No Frills.
Yeah,
there are all kinds of products.
And I was telling you earlier, as I was giving you an example, our food is available in certain retailers as well.
Yeah, well, you said you have, a pop-up or something?
No, we are doing a pop-up. We did at Pusateri's for the summer. Now we're going in November, December, January. We're doing a pop-up Pusateri's on Queen Street and their Saks location. And we also are Indian food. Our food is available in the hot counters as well across the chain and the Pusateri's as well.
Nice.
So things are changing.
Just after 8:30, if you are a wine person, and half the people that listen to the Happy Gang need wine just to listen to the show, we're going to pick Derek's brain a lot in a little while, about 20 minutes from now, because when it comes to wine, he's got a resume as long as your arm. So we'll chat with Derek a little bit about finding the right. That's the part of wine, Jane, that always completely escapes me, is how people figure out what to serve with what of this to have with it. Genius. And we're going to talk to Derek about that in about 20 minutes. So keep the notepad out because it'll come in handy. No sugar tonight right now. It's the Guess Who from Zoomer Radio.